All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to this Railway Empire 2 Fundamentals video. We are going to troubleshoot warehouse issues. Now, I have seen a lot of posts lately on Steam discussion groups and other places where people are very frustrated with the warehouses and think they have bugs and think there's something wrong with the way they work. As far as I can tell, there's no defect. There are challenges and we need to be prepared to face them. So what I've got here, I'm showing you, this is my playthrough of Flagler's Folly, right? The one, if you're not familiar with it, it really doesn't matter. It's just a fairly complex warehouse setup. I've got warehouses all over the place doing all sorts of things. And just so you understand what I'm about to show you, there's a 3-city cluster up here: Pensacola, Tallahassee, and Jacksonville. And they are intended to get their raw materials from here, 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 and here, right? And here, right around them, right? And then we have a 2-city cluster down here, Tampa, and it says Helene Girard. This is actually Miami. It got renamed in our honor during the scenario. But this is a 2-city cluster that gets help from Jacksonville, right? And we've advanced to the point where we need some of the advanced goods to come down here to help these 2 cities grow. And we even have our meat we've changed it around so that the meat is actually coming from Pensacola for all 5 of the cities. I guess what I keep hearing people say, 2 things. They say, oh, I've got 99 wheat in my warehouse and it won't go to my main city. It won't even come to the one the warehouse is in. It just sits there. Well, there's 2 things about that. Number one is, let's look at the warehouse here. Notice how look at all that grain. But look where it's going: Pensacola and Tallahassee. Look at all that sugar: Jacksonville, Pensacola, Tallahassee. Right? Corn, Pensacola, Tallahassee. What's happening is this. Remember how warehouses work. This warehouse says, I can get these things. Who wants them? Well, the city wants them, but the city connected to them wants it, Tampa. Well, we also have direct connections from Tallahassee running down to that warehouse because it brings down beer and clothing and alcohol is needed down there to feed both Miami and Tampa, which has, a direct freight line to get its stuff out of the warehouse down here. Same thing in Pensacola. We've got the meat going down there, and anything else that they might want comes down here and then moves around, right? So what's happening is this. The warehouse here is saying, look, I'm connected. I got a direct connection to that city right there. They need grain. They need corn. They need sugar. Send it to them. Same thing with Pensacola. Send it to them. So what is happening is we've got, instead of using the resources that are right around us, it's trying to use resources way down here. Now that sounds awful and seems frustrating, but it really, it's just a function of, I've got a direct connection from this warehouse to that city. I've got a freight line that runs there. I'm going to send them stuff, right? And it doesn't think about it as, well, this is a longer distance than this distance, so this one is more important. This one is more important to go there than this one. It just says, hey, I got a direct connection. I'm going to send stuff. So that's one thing I keep hearing is, oh, I've got 99 whatevers and they won't go anywhere. Look, I got all these. And I was getting very frustrated, by the way. If you watch the video where I played toward the end of this, I hadn't figured it out and it was killing me. And I was starting to give in to the talk and think that, yes, there was a defect. There's no defect. It's all how you have it set up. So the other thing I kept hearing, and I'm going to show you the solution in just a minute. The other thing I kept hearing was, I can't get it to my own city. You've got to have enough supply. Any way you look at it, you've got to have enough. So when I bought this corn and bumped it up a level, that really is all it took to make things work better. And really the key is what I'm about to show you. This is how you fix this problem. You have to just be really careful about where you're sending your stuff. And once again, let me remind you, this 3-city cluster is supposed to be getting its materials from right around here, right around it. And this one down here is supposed to be getting its materials from right around it, with the exception of the milk and the fruit. The milk comes all the way down to Miami and goes into here, and the fruit goes into here and comes all the way down to Miami. So let me show you what you have to do to keep from having a situation where I've got tons of stuff, tons of stuff in my warehouse and it's not going anywhere. And the thing of it is, for it to go anywhere, I'd have to run who knows how many trains over this line to get all that stuff cleared out and up there, and the problem would never go away. I would just keep running more and more trains, and I still wouldn't be using this stuff up here. So let me show you what you need to do to solve that problem. Okay, so let's take a look at how we solve this problem. What we need to do is disconnect this warehouse from any delivery going up to these right here. So let's take a look at the lines that are coming down here. So we've got from Tallahassee, right here, Tallahassee to Miami. We've got 2 trains running, and you can see what they can do, right? They can bring the goods that are manufactured in Tallahassee. When they get to Miami, they can take back any of the things that are in that warehouse, plus the things that are manufactured in Miami. But we do not want any of this stuff going back. We're going to disconnect it. We're going to say, no, you can't take that back. We're going to update that line and commit it. Then we're going to go to Pensacola and see all this stuff here. This is stuff that came from Miami, right? Look at all this. Look at all this stuff that should be just going to Miami, and he should be getting his stuff from here where it's close by. So we'll let him unload just because we're kind people. And once we do, we'll change his line. Okay, let's change his line. So when you're coming out of Miami, no. I'm just double clicking on each of those. Or click, really. It's not a double click, technically, it's 2 clicks. And that would, that says no, not bringing this stuff back. Stuff you make, that's fine, but the raw goods that are coming in that you can get elsewhere, don't bring them back. And we'll update that line. Then we'll look at the line that's coming in. There's a line coming in from Jacksonville. It's over on this one. And it's Jacksonville to Tampa. There's 2 of them, actually. Let me make sure we get them both. Okay, this one is set up. Oh, here we go. This one, since it's on this side over here, all it could pick up would be the grain and the fruit. We don't want those going back. We just want all the manufactured goods, right? We'll confirm that one. And then there's another one here. And it really has the same orders to it. Probably copied lines. And, okay, don't take that stuff back. And then we actually have one more place where it goes back, because there just happens to be right here is another warehouse, right? This is a station set up on lumber and grain, and it actually has a warehouse as well, which takes sugar, right? So what we need to do now is look for all the people coming down from this Hilton terminal that might come down here to Miami. So Hilton terminal to Miami, and we're going to say, look, no, don't take, now really sugar is the only relevant one, but just to be thorough, we'll say no, don't take any of those raw materials back when you go back up there. And confirm that. And that looks like the only one. That's the only one. So now, let's go in and kind of clean house. So let's go into our warehouse and say, now we're not doing grain anymore. No, we're not doing sugar anymore, right? We're not doing corn anymore. Grain, sugar, corn, that's the only ones. Then over here, let's see if we need to clean up. Yep. We're not doing grain anymore. The fruit's okay. I'm going to run that for a second so everything can kind of recalculate. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to the warehouse and say, yeah, we do grain and we do corn and we do sugar, because all this stuff needs to go back from Miami up to Tampa, right? So we're going to do all those things. Then we're going to go over here to this one and say, I told you this is a complex setup. This isn't just your one little warehouse deal. We also do grain from this side. Okay, and that also allows us, by the way, to bring grain in over here, transfer it through the city to this one, and run it up to Tampa on this line over here. That's the same thing with the fruit, which comes in and swings down like this. So now let's just see what happens, what our trains do here. Notice this train is actually set up to run full, right? But you also notice he has exactly one sugar in it for Helene Gerard. That's because all these others were loaded for other places that we no longer send the stuff, right? So he's actually going to come over here with 8, but he's actually only going to unload 1 and dump the others. So we'll watch him go through his unloading process, but he just sent the 1 to Helene Gerard. And then if we watch the next one that's coming in, all this beautiful corn is for Helene Gerard. It's for this town here. And so now we've got this warehouse set up serving Tampa and Helene Gerard / Miami only, and not trying to send it up here. And then what that will do in turn is mean that the lines that we have set up here will start getting more and more of their goods up here. Well, actually, in fact, all of their goods up here until they can prosper as well. So that way we can still bring the manufactured goods down. We just make sure we don't take back the other goods. So I guess the moral of the story is you have to be careful when you set up warehouses. You have to realize what are all the places that have direct freight lines from this warehouse, because those are all potential places that the goods that you put in that warehouse could go, and the logistics manager is the way I think of it. The logistics manager in this warehouse is going to look at this and say, hey, you can bring me sugar. I've got a line that goes to Tallahassee. They need sugar. Bring me sugar. We don't want that. We want it to be separated. We want it to be clean so that these guys are getting their supplies down here and these guys are getting their supplies up there. And now this thing should run just beautifully. From now on out, it should not have any crowding issues because everything is either going, directly to Miami or going up to Tampa. And then the other thing, I can clean up. I was getting so frustrated. I set up this, look at this. I've got 6 trains running this Tampa line, which means a frequency of like 3 days, which is ridiculous. Oops, wrong way. I'm going to get rid of half of them because I just don't need them, because I was just trying everything I could think of to try to find a way to get those goods out of there. And it just turns out it's just a matter of who you're communicating with. All this corn is for Miami. All right, I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about warehouses, and just please think about, do I have enough supply coming in and enough train capacity to get it there timely for what I want to do? And have I inadvertently set up a situation where I'm trying to make my warehouse supply stuff to too many places? And if you kind of look at that, I think you can avoid a lot of this, oh my warehouse is full of stuff and I can't get rid of it and I can't supply my own hometown. So hopefully that helps you play the game a little bit better, and it also helps you get rid of that frustration that you're having about warehouses. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire 2 video. Thank you.